That's
Episode 1. Episode 1.
All right. Try that again, Lewis. I'll do it. That was terrible. I don't know why you paused.
Shut the fuck up. Well, he doesn't have to. You don't keep recording, bro. We can just cut that.
Yeah, can I just edit? Yeah.
All right. So welcome to Off the Perc podcast number 1, featuring what's your name? How do you pronounce your name exactly, guest?
Spiffles.
Spiffles? That's not. Is that right? Spiffles?
I mean that's maybe the Spanish way of saying it, but Spiffles, that's what I call myself. Or Spiffy.
Syphilis.
That's beautiful.
So I've had that nickname before.
Okay, so introduce yourself.
I am Spiffles. I am probably most known for being the leader of Scotland on Nova, and later on Michigan. But I've kind of been dead since then. But I've made a little bit of a comeback on Aurora.
Come back how?
Well, I'm reviving PP Ireland to its former glory of what used to be on Nova when it was under Matt the Man and Toby Killman and Dabs.
Oh. You remember Dabs, Alshad?
I mean, I remember seeing him around a lot, yeah.
Yeah, he was in America. It's too bad we never crossed paths.
I mean, he made pretty funny memes, I'd say. Dabs all over.
Oh, yeah, on the fucking, subreddit years ago.
Yeah. He was the king of the subreddit, bro. Yeah, he had a YouTube channel, too.
Right,
when did you first join Earthmc, Spiffles?
Good question.
I was the last months of EMC Classic. I joined in April, I think. And in a few months, I went from owning some town in Mozambique to being kind of the leader of Africa, because EMC, no one ever wants to go in Africa, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Wait, but, you joined in April 2018?
I think so, yeah.
So I know I asked you this yesterday, but I actually don't remember. So did we cross paths on Classic? Because I remember meeting Wayne Golf, who was part of your group, but I don't know about you.
You never stuck out to me. I think it was only Nova when we kind of really got to know each other a little bit more. But yeah, Classic, I don't really remember you that much. I remember Conman out of anyone because he was
he's memorable.
Yeah, because out of all the nations in Africa, he was the kind of last standout. And we invaded his town. But his negotiations were really crap. He basically said that he'll join our nation if he becomes leader of the nation. And that started me and Conman's long-lasting friendship.
Are you two actually friends?
That's beautiful.
I don't speak to him anymore, but we're on good terms. But he then made Ohio when I had Michigan, so he liked to stay close to me.
All right.
What do you think's the biggest difference between Nova and Aurora, in general?
Probably just the player base. I don't really know anyone, but that's probably because I haven't played. I was disappointed that they didn't really make much difference to the map itself. I wish they kind of increased the scale a little bit, but that's just my opinion. But apart from that, the only kind of fundamental difference that I've not really played with yet is the kind of apartments kind of thing.
Quarters.
The landlord quarters, yeah. That new feature I've not experimented with.
It's hilarious.
I made apartments in Michigan before it was a thing, and it was a kind of a key system that you could it could kind of work with permissions set to switch on and item use and stuff like that. But
you have the bootleg quarters, you have the pirated quarters.
Yeah, it's a lot more accessible now. So yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay, I got a question. So Spiffles, what would you say is your favorite or funniest EMC memory? And if you don't have a top one, just a really funny one. Or is it all just misery because Scotland didn't go well?
I can't think of like one off the top of my head.
You've been here so long. You don't have any fun memories?
I have yeah, I've got multiple though, but I can't think of like a distinct one.
All right, let me jog your memory.
Okay.
The Wingo Civil War, Scotland, like literally anything with Scotland, the Celtic Union, nothing about that.
Well, funny or like just like outstanding moments.
I'll take anything at this point. You've been
Notable.
Okay. I think there's probably two funny things that happened. One was when we were having a debate for the Celtic Union, and Conman, of course, like left. He kind of publicized where the debate was going to be held in chat, and we didn't close the doors in time, and basically we had like a riot at the election debate, and we had people trying to like get onto the stage, um, and we just like couldn't start because people were like trying to like laugh at each other and stuff like that, and basically had to like delay the debate by like an hour, and had to like move from like New York to like Quebec,
Mm.
and that
So
led to Command being like kicked out of the nation for like.
I see. All right, another question. Let me pull it up here.
We also
So,
had Enfish did the exact same thing in Michigan as well.
and Fish, is he still around?
Yeah, I think he's in Chicago with Lucas.
Okay,
Mm.
so not around. He's dead.
Oh,
Well, you say that, but Philly is in Chicago. Counts there
Yeah,
too.
and he's dead.
Okay, so Spiffles,
What
I
do you
don't.
think about Illinois since you were like right next to them with
Great
Michigan?
question.
by the time when what was his name? Sensius took
Sensius,
over.
yeah.
I had sold Michigan by that point. I think I never really crossed paths with him. I know came across as like an asshole from what I know about him.
He was in my nation. I lived in nation Egypt. So he was in it. And he's like so revolution.
Mm.
A long-standing reputation as an asshole.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
I don't know. I mean, probably people in his nation who are like friends with him, like you know, probably didn't think he was an asshole, but
Well, yeah, that's usually the case.
yeah.
he got banned because he was like alting in the aisles on Aurora.
Well, I mean, didn't he first get banned for like X-raying? Then he got unbanned. Then he got banned
I
again.
don't know. I couldn't tell you, brother. All right, Spiffles. I got a question for you. So, you know the new Overclaimed changes that were announced like yesterday or today?
I have little detail about that.
All right, so
Let's go to Earthmc. I got
when you recruit someone, right? You used to get like back in the day +8 residents. Now you get +12 new change. That's coming out the 16th.
Okay.
And for every 4 chunks over, you're gonna pay 1 gold. Do you think that's like too easy, too harsh, just right?
I think if they give enough notice of when they're going to make these changes, for people to kind of plan ahead, then I think that's fine. I think there should be some sort of upkeep for towns. I've asked for that for years now, because at least
Mm-hmm.
before with the people who were coming on like once every kind of 42 days just to kind of keep their town alive, that could have at least reduce the amount of people doing that if they had some sort of upkeep. So I think if they have some sort of financial reason for someone to like come on and at least vote once a day kind of thing,
Yeah.
then I think that's fine. But I think if they're going to make any changes regarding that kind of stuff, they should give plenty of time for people to plan ahead, because it's not really people who do actually play but have just big ass towns don't have much residents or average residents in them.
Okay. Okay. All right. Next question. Audra, you want to ask this one? It's about 21 quitting.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard, but long-term player,
PvPer.
PvPer, well-renowned, big guy, 21 EA, or otherwise known as 2021 EEA, quit. What are your thoughts? First impressions, Eve.
Spiffles is gone. Spiffles.
I don't know who this man is.
Yeah, who gives a?
Yeah, I don't know him either. we actually don't know him either. Just saying that to mess with you, but
if
he
you asked me
did.
about Mighty Hero, I'd be freaking the fuck out. But no, I don't know who this guy is.
Well,
but something else
he,
that happened today is
yes.
you know, Fiji Lupins and like the people who run France, Veyron.
I know Fruit Lupins, I know Fiji Lupins, but I know the other guy.
You know 8031?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all making their own Earthmc like knockoff server.
Well, I don't think Addy is, or Addy, whatever her name is.
Addy, yeah.
Send that Addy. Yeah, I think it's just Fiji and Vader.
Good luck to them. As someone who was owner of Kawada's server, you know, I think competition is always good. So, you know, best of luck to them. Just hope it's not dog shit.
All right, you got another question, Ojad, or should I ask one?
You can go for it.
All right, Spiffles. So, if you like, how do I put it? When you play EMC, do you care about like the kind of history or like not legacy, but like kind of like history you leave behind? Like, oh, I want to be able to say I ruled this empire. I want to be able to say I made a Scottish republic. Do you care about like that sort of cloud influence, or do you just do it for purely for fun?
I just kind of stick with what I know best, basically. Obviously, with my views in real life, that would be what I'd want to do. But if I wasn't forced out of Scotland on Nova, then I wouldn't have met all my friends that I've made in Michigan. Because all my kind of current online group is people that I've made friends with from then. So I think it's more about the kind of community and friends that you make rather than like, you know,
What
whether
you did, yeah.
yeah,
So you're putting a
you know,
silver lining on it. Was it hard, like trying to maintain Scotland with like the British at your border? Like obviously they weren't. They were playing with more like cards in their deck than you were. So
yeah, it was just because I made do, or I had to make do with the amount of land I had. I owned Aberdeen, which was kind of fully developed, and it was
yeah,
just
it
a
was a
bit
nice
kind of
city.
yeah, it was just a bit irritating that the British, with all the land that they had claimed, because obviously they had all the gold coming in from like Tesco, because I was at the kind of main store on the Nova map. But they had barely any residents, but they had all that gold, so they're able to kind of claim more than I was able to, even with an active player base. So it was just kind of irritating. But yeah, I was kind of a blessing in disguise having to go to Michigan. Besides Enfish claiming actual Detroit, um, I was able to kind of claim a lot more area uh, than I was in Scotland. And yeah, like I said before, with that, I was able to kind of set a kind of name for myself out there and make my kind of current friends. And then went on to make the Midwestern Union, and then you know help form the USA, even though it lasted for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean it was a cool idea, like Mega Nation. That's like actually democratic.
Well, I think it could have lasted a lot longer. If the scandal didn't happen, but
What
Yeah,
scam?
the kind of NSA kind of
Oh yeah,
tomfoolery that went on.
that was
Uh,
crazy. Crazy.
yeah,
That shit.
that was a fun thing to go through.
Yeah.
did you ever have a moment where you realized like the British were cheating?
Yeah, um,
What was that?
it was the fact that a lot of them would had the same kind of like they'd say the same things.
Like
They'd say the same,
mannerisms and shit? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
the kind
yeah.
of the same talking points. You would have London that was like full capacity of like residents and stuff like that, and getting all this like money coming in. And I was like, okay, well, none of them VC. none of them really. I don't see them actively going around and doing anything. Like by the time I kind of moved over to the British Isles and stuff like that, London was already kind of built up. But even throughout the whole time, London was they had nice buildings and stuff like that, but the actual interior of the buildings were just empty. It was like
Yeah,
a movie set kind of thing. So to me, it was like they had the appearance of a developed site and stuff like that, but not like an actual active player base. Besides maybe some of the active players like Mine Hero and like Warrior and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And uh, yeah, I would get these. Honestly, I've never had kind of uh hate crime messages online before.
you said hate crime.
Yeah, because I had a Nicholas Sturgeon Minecraft skin on, I got
Oh
called a
yes,
tranny. I got called a faggot.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I was it was funny because this was on public chat, but again, nothing would happen uh by the staff, and then I felt it was convenient that the just made staff were kind of in Britain's favor a lot of the time. Now, I don't know if that was because of some sort of collusion between them and stuff, but the way that was explained to me was that because we were the kind of new players in the area, and because all of these kind of claim blocking incidents were being reported and stuff like that, we were seen as as the troublemakers, even though we weren't the ones actually breaking the rules.
Just
But
because
because
they
it's
got
just
there early.
because yeah, it's because a lot of these issues came up and we were new, even though we were in the rules. Because there were all these reports and stuff like that, suddenly we were seen as the ones that are causing trouble.
That shit ain't right. Shit ain't a game out here. It's fucking tragic what they did to you, to Scotland.
Injustice, yeah, life itself,
It's crazy. You're saying injustice now, but you were enemy to him.
Scotland?
Yeah,
When?
technically.
When?
When we were all in the coalition of Europe.
Spiffles was not around then.
Was he not?
Was that
No.
before or after?
Uh,
That was early 2020.
I've never been in
I was in
Spiffles.
Michigan. I was in Michigan by that point.
Okay, we'll
If
cut that out. We'll cut that out.
if you go on if you go on Reddit, actually, you'll see that I predicted COVID.
Whoa. How'd you
Yeah,
know?
we got an all timer.
How'd you know?
Yeah. Well, people freaking out about it, and then I made a meme about it. Um, let me pull, Lewis, pull it up.
Lewis, pull up the pandemic meme.
I don't know if you can find it that quickly. All right, he's for it. Let me ask you.
What is he gonna?
I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. Okay, so Spiffles, how do you feel about? Oh yeah, there's new just now. Spiffles, this just
Mhm.
happened.
Damn, live on the
Asked
scene.
asked Tlan, the nation. I think it's in Mexico. Is disbanded. What do you think?
Um, uh, rest in peace to them. Hope they recover.
Who would
Are
you
you
say is your
smoking on the
go-to?
Aslan pack or are
Yeah,
you playing rest in peace?
Can you repeat that again? You kind of spoke over each other.
sorry.
Are you smoking the Aslan pack or are you letting them rest in peace? Oh, Justin Lewis has found the Reddit meme.
No, Spiffle
Yeah.
sent it. Holy shit! He knew. How did he know? How the
We're
fuck
putting
did?
this shit up on screen right now. Power man.
How? All right.
There have been murmurs of a potential war plugin coming to Earthmc. Are you pro or against Spiffles?
I mean, it's hard to say. I see AMC ever adding a war plugin. Um, although people may say they want it, I know for a fact that if they get it, they're just going to complain as much because
That's true.
all the people that say they want to fight, they can easily fight already, but they won't. Uh, the people that want to fight will kill randoms in the wild, and that's about as much as they'll do.
Well, the thing is, it's not really the people who want to fight. It's mostly like people who want like dynamic like changes to the map instead of like for things to like happen quicker instead of like territorial changes happening like through like DMing people to join or like for towns to fall, which takes a lot longer.
So I think an alternative to that, I think either on Oxford's server or I think Kawada's server, I can't remember exactly. It was kind of like if you had more towns within a nation in a certain area, the kind of towns nearby would be kind of under pressure to join that nation within a certain amount of days, kind of thing, depending on population and claims and stuff like that. Kind of like in like Civ 6,
Oh,
the kind of more influence or whatever nearby, they'll kind of slowly be converted to join that nation. I think
Mm,
that could be a alternative to that.
that's cool.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen multiple Earth servers spring up, and yeah, their kind of like whole thing is, oh, we're not easy, we have siege war or something. Very rarely any of them really make off the ground. Because sure, you might get the kind of PvP community, but once you have one big PvP group and server, and they take up all this land, if they've not got like a kind of counterbalance to equal out the kind of fighting, then you've got all the builders that are left to you know defend themselves, and obviously builders aren't really the best at doing that. So, uh,
mm,
like they'll say they want a PvP or war plugin, but you know, if they're going to do that, they're going to have to kind of balance out the kind of builders and role players with the PvPers and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Well, you say like, well, this I've heard this a lot. Like a lot of like Earth servers pop up with a war plugin and they die, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of Earth servers that pop up without a war plugin and they die. Like I
mm,
think it's just servers in general like have a hard time competing with Earthmc because the name and like just because of the long standing list.
Well,
But
the
I get it.
thing,
Like that's what happens to Crusade Craft, kind of. I think.
the thing, the
Um,
thing with the Earth servers that haven't got a war plugin is that they don't have really anything to kind of be like, oh, this is the difference. You know,
yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
why would you go to like another Earth server that doesn't have a war plugin with no kind of different features and stuff like that when you can just
Yeah,
go
the
to
only reason
EMC?
would be to like create a nation that is like taken up on Earthmc, and you
Yeah.
don't want to like be subservient to the current leader, I guess.
The thing with EMC is that because it's one of the earliest servers to have like a kind of geopolitical air server, they have got a monopoly on a reputation of being stable because it has been around since what 2016.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a long time for a Minecraft server. Um, yeah, like they've got one of the most original names. They've got the kind of reputation for civility. Because of that kind of combination, they've got a large player base. Now I know it's kind of like lesser than it used to be, but it's still they've got that reputation, that monopoly, and it's kind of like a self fulfilling kind of cycle kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever a new server pops up and they don't really have anything kind of different to offer, then they might get a little bit of traction for a little bit, but then it'll soon die out.
All right, I had to mute myself there. All right, so I think we can ask our final questions now. All final questions for our guest.
Give me.
What? Oh, he had to mute himself. All right. So, who is your closest EMC friend? And I don't mean someone you know in real life, but like someone you met on EMC that you are closest to on the server.
uh, hmm. I'd probably say I
Think
have I
about it.
have met like a few EMC players in real life now, but I'd probably say the closest friend I've got currently that's on the server now would be MCP Builder guy, the leader
Hmm.
of Caribbean.
But you're
Is he a good
saying,
builder?
yeah, is he good? Is he a good builder?
Is he what?
Is he a good builder?
I don't actually know. I think he is. He owns Puerto Rico, so I think he built the buildings there. I'm not too sure. He also made in fact, yeah, I'll say he is. He made the Sideways House in Michigan, and he also made the Statue of
Whoa.
Liberty in Michigan as well, which pissed off New York.
Whoa. Okay, so you met a
Who do you
few.
think the most successful Earthmc player is
Oh my god.
of all time?
On all time.
Who did everything they set out to do?
uh, I don't know.
Think about it.
I'd say either be I don't know. I'd say there's like a top five. I'd say
Ooh,
Beaver Man from
Beaverman.
being
I
like a
mean, he
mayor
did have a
of
monopoly on Earthmc YouTube like that. That is fair.
well, he went from being like a mayor of like Ann Arbor or wherever it was, or Lake Huron, wherever it was, or Huron City, in Michigan, to like becoming relatively successful RMC YouTuber or whatever.
Yeah,
Lucas 2011, he owned New York for the longest time. He was one of the most kind of influential players, I'd say.
yeah,
Um, I'd say maybe Justinian, um,
Mm.
as well. You know, he was one of the most influential on the server list from when I played. Mind Hero as well, for similar reasons. Even though I dislike him, I think he was one of the most kind of influential players in the server.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Me? How about me?
Well, I'd say Justinian, like Corrupted Greed. You're like a top
Oh.
10, top 15.
Oh. All right.
yeah.
All right. So, anything else before we depart today for Off the Perk podcast number 1? Oh wait, Spiffles, how's it feel being the first guest?
It was a surprise. I've sobered up. Um,
He
What?
got serious.
yeah,
Mm.
I had to think. So,
You did.
but yeah, it's a great honor for coming back to Aurora.
You're damn right it is. All right, Ajad, close us off.
Closeout song.
I mean, if you want, I have no other questions. Think of
Any last questions? A
Perfect.
journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and we're honored that you are part of this steps,
wow,
Spiffles.
that's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spiffles, do you have anything
Anyways,
to plug?
I've been gay, Dan's been gay, and we're signing off.
All right, bye.